Hi, I'm Suzanne Fasella, the owner and founder of Caregiver Haven. I'm also a physician assistant, and for the last 15 years, I've been helping caregivers, either as a caregiver advocate or as a patient advocate, to help families deal with the crisis when caregiving just overtakes them. And in these 15 years, I have come to realize that there are really only 6 areas of caregiving. And this is what Caregiver Haven is all about. We explore these 6 areas of caregiving, and not only that, through the eBooks that we have written and through the webinars that we do, through the personal counseling that we share with you, we have been able to help caregivers all over the United States build a better life. So let's talk about the 6 areas of caregiving and what you might be facing right now and what issues you're having that you need help with. Number 1 is the health arena. The health of your loved one is imperative for you to understand what road you're going to go down in caregiving. Because no matter what your loved one is diagnosed with, it's not necessarily going to get better. It's going to get worse. And we have to prepare ourselves for what's ahead of us and prevent any decisions that come in a crisis. We want to be ready for them, and we explore that with the folks in Caregiving Haven. We talk about these issues, we're very upfront about them, we lay them out on the table, we explore our choices, what will work, what won't work, what we can be strong in, and what we know we might fail in. We get ahead of the problem so we never have to deal with it again. The second pillar or area that we talk about, and we call them pillars, but the second area we talk about is the mental and social decline of your loved one. You see, the mental status is imperative if we're going to have a relationship with our loved one. A relationship is always two-way. We give, they give. We give, they give. And so we expect something in return, and that is not the case with caregiving. Again, in 15 years, we have watched caregivers struggle with no appreciation whatsoever. Whether it's from their family members, from their loved one, from their boss, their job, wherever they go, whatever they do, no matter what they sacrifice, caregivers don't seem to get the reinforcement they should have. We have seen it. So we talk about the mental decline and how our caregivers are going to adapt to these changes. And then we talk about the socialization of your loved one. Are they going out? Are they getting what they need? Do they have other people coming into their home? Has everybody abandoned you and you have no one else to turn to? Everyone who promised that they would help are no longer helping. These are things that we deal with. And when we do deal with them, we find that we prevent them. We find that we are on top of our game, that people look at us and say, how do you do caregiving so well? How do you know what's going to happen next? Because at Caregiver Haven, we've been there. We know what your future looks like, and we're going to save you from it. The third pillar, or third area we look at, is legal and financial. This can be devastating for many caregivers. We know that the legal aspects, the law, is impossible when it comes to caregiving. The caregiver is often thrown aside. Somebody else is making the decision, or the pressure from family members to come in and make other decisions is totally against what the caregiver and their loved one had already discussed. We see it happen over and over again. Also, the financial issues are extremely stressful to the caregiver. Why? Because the caregiver is often being accused of either taking money, using money unnecessarily, and yet here the caregiver, on an average, is spending $7,000 a year out of his or her own pocket to take care of their loved one, and nobody seems to appreciate it. So how do we deal with this pillar, the legal and financial aspect of caregiving? We do. We know, again, what it looks like, and we get you prepared for it, and we surround you with a team of people that are going to help you so you're not going to fall into this entrapment of family members, friends, and even strangers taking from you when you deserve so much. Next, we talk about home safety and living arrangements. Many times we find that caregivers say, well, I promised I'd always take care of her. I promised I'd always be there for him. What my mom and dad did for me, I want to do for them. And they come to a cross in the road where they can no longer take care of them. It's not safe for our caregivers. It's not safe for their loved ones. And so they have to start looking at living arrangements, whether it's assisted living with memory care, long-term care with memory care, independent living, whatever it is, we prepare our caregivers at Caregiver Haven for this. We know it's coming, and we want to get the finances ready. We want to get on the right waiting lists. We want to have the right people to help us transition into this new way of living. That's what we do at Caregiver Haven. But we're not done yet, because at Caregiver Haven, we find that so many caregivers neglect the next two pillars number 5 and 6. We think they're critical. Pillar number 5 is about boundaries. It's about helping you, the caregiver, find the strength to make these hard decisions and then stick with them. Can you be flexible? Absolutely. Things are going to constantly change and you feel you're in a flux. But we're going to set the basic foundation down for you. We're going to show you what that looks like. We're going to show you what boundaries look like. So many caregivers in Caregiver Haven have done just this. They have boundaries. They have set down what they can and cannot do, what they will and will not tolerate. And it's important to us that we see them staying strong while caregiving. And then the last pillar, but definitely not the least important, is the freedom, the inner peace that we give our caregivers at Caregiver Haven. We understand that you have a life to live too. We understand that you have a right to that life and to the choices you want to make. Every human being needs to make their own choices, and I never want you to feel trapped. I never want you to feel like you have nowhere to go, that all your friends have left you, that all your hobbies, whether it's golf or tennis or boating or walking or exercising, taking care of yourself, you should never neglect. And we're going to show you how to put that back into your schedule. You can do this. We take all 6 pillars and we work on a little bit at a time, step by step, until you feel that you're confident about their health. You have the freedom to go when you want to go, do what you want to do. You know the boundaries, and so does everyone else. You've taught them to them. And you have the legal and financial affairs in order, and you've got the backing of a great team to support you on that. And you also know and understand their mental and social statuses are going to change, and you're not going to let it devastate you, because we're going to show you how you cope with such things. So that's what Caregiver Haven is. It is a place for you to feel safe. It is a place for you to come, whether it's counseling you need, support you need, answers to your questions, resources, checklists, eBooks, webinars, emails, teaching. We do so much more. We bring the professionals to you to help you, because at Caregiver Haven, you're important to us. We care about you. We want to help you because you're helping another human being.